Hello, and welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Dr. Natalie Rosin, and I am thrilled to be able to spend a couple of minutes with you this evening talking about ICB2. First of all, a little bit about me. This is my 27th year of teaching. I have had the best time teaching, and I cannot think of anything better to do on a daily basis than to get the opportunity to work with young people. My BA is in biology from the University of Iowa, and then I stayed at the University of Iowa to receive my Master's of Arts in Teaching and Science Education. I then began teaching and then went back to Loyola University in Chicago to receive my doctorate in curriculum instruction. I really wanted to focus on the hows and the whys of the best ways to help our young people learn and reach their goals. I have been at St. Charles North High School since it opened in the year 2000. In my time recently, I teach chemistry and the second year of the integrated or ICB program here as a member of the science department at SCN. In addition to teaching, I also work with young men and women outside the classroom by co advising National Honor Society, advising Science National Honor Society, and I am one of several advisors for our peer leadership program. This year in ICB2, I am looking forward to working alongside your son and daughter and helping them take the fundamentals that they actually worked with Mr. Makaitis last year in ICB1 and applying those to see how biological concepts work in this scientific discipline. What we will be looking at this year, we have started with macromolecule structures and functions by looking at carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids and proteins, and nucleic acids. After that, we will be looking at the endosymbiotic theory, which kind of delves into prokaryotes and eukaryotes as different types of cells that living organisms have. Once we do that, we're going to look at how we transport materials in and out of cells in order to help them be as effective and as efficient as possible. We will then take a look at some systems that organisms use in order to be successful, specifically the digestive, the circulatory, and the respiratory system, which are key in then being able to actually look at kind of this interrelationship that exists between plants and animals by examining photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We will finish off first semester by kind of starting to actually look at what makes living organisms and how we actually build them by finishing with DNA structure function. That particular topic will kind of overlap into second semester as we really start to look at not only building a living organism in the right way, but also some things that can kind of cause some issues as living organisms are growing and developing, and what makes us the same as well as what makes us different. Once we're kind of done looking at individual genetics, we will broaden our scope a little bit to look at population genetics. And then we will finish off your son or daughter's kind of ICB journey that started with the Big Bang and looking at the Doppler effect with redshift, blue shift, and then going into how different elements were actually formed in our universe on a very tiny scale with atoms. And we will finish with ecology in the biosphere. So kind of going from the very, very small to the very large throughout their 2-year journey. Many of the materials this year that your son or daughter will actually need for class will be provided to them when we are in class, now that we are finally back. But any answer keys that they need and class notes are provided to them on our Schoology page. Please let me take the time to actually show you what that looks like and how to navigate to it. Your son or daughter could show you this at any time, but I want to be able to make sure that you could kind of look at it and then you can kind of take a look at the resources that they are using this year to be able to help them be successful. The easiest way to do that is to actually start by going to the St. Charles North High School homepage. And that That address is just north.d303.org. When they go to the homepage across the top, there are all sorts of drop down menus that they have, and even you have on a school and even district level, to be able to look at all the wonderful things that are offered here at our school. But the tab that is the most kind of meaningful for them, and the one that they need to access for our Schoology page, is the student tab. Once it is pulled down, the second column is resources and tools, and then they can just navigate to Schoology here. Once they click on it, kind of the Schoology dashboard will show up for them. Theirs will have any courses that they are taking on theirs. Mine actually has all the courses that I teach. So I have periods 1 and 2, ICB2 here. And then if I scroll down, there's period 8, because I am fortunate enough to have 3 sections of ICB2 this year: first, second, and eighth. So I like to say that first and second are the best way to start my day, and eighth is the best way to end my day. I really, really do enjoy teaching this class. And I have taught ICB since 1997 in one form or another. So it has kind of changed and morphed throughout our time together. But it is truly a pleasure to be able to work with your sons and daughters in this second year. All of the classes are kind of structured the same, so I'm just going to use first periods, but second and eighths also kind of look the exact same. So if you click into it, basically what they have access to is a folder that gives them whatever week we are kind of working on to be able to access. This just happens to be the week that we just finished, so the week of the 23rd. And inside the week of the 23rd, they had a handout for creating macromolecules, which we were kind of working on, and gave them some structures of the different molecules we were working on. And then as we go along throughout class, there are all sorts of questions that actually arise about all sorts of different things. So right now, since we're working on macromolecules, most of those questions were about the roles that different macromolecules, like our carbohydrates or amino acids, lipids, or nucleic acids, have in the human body. How do they work? What type of functional groups do they have? When we're going to join them together or tear them apart, where is that, where are those bonds forming? Where are those bonds being destroyed or broken down? What types of bonds are being formed? Like, what specific names do we actually give to those? And so, each day I obviously kind of teach class, but then once I actually get done, I try to be able to recreate and give them background on the notes that they have for the day. So here are ones that we actually did on nucleic acids, and then as well as pictures of any board notes that we kind of actually happen to have from that class. Obviously, they are, more than welcome to be able to kind of take their own pictures. They also do a great job of being able to kind of take their own notes for things. We also utilize pictures that, for drawings that are kind of essential to understanding, but would probably take me a little bit too long to actually draw in class. We also use hyperlinks to different sources. Here we have some from Khan Academy that provide some additional ways or kind of perspectives on how to be able to look at them, because sometimes just hearing it presented in a different way can strengthen and support some of the things that we are looking at in class. And it might also help, a particular student by listening to it in a slightly different way, make a little bit more sense maybe than I do that particular day. So there are all sorts of kind of different notes that we have here. This serves a lot of different purposes. One, it kind of serves as a check to make sure that your son or daughter is on the same page as where I am. And so we're kind of speaking the same language. If students want to actually check to kind of make sure that they're on the same page, or that they are getting all of the material in a particular class period down, they can always kind of come and check here. If on the same note, if they are not able to be in class with us for a particular day, they might be sick at home, there might be an appointment that's actually scheduled during our particular hour that kind of prevents them from being able to come for a particular day. It might be a family vacation or an emergency. This is kind of a running list of things that we actually do by unit, so that students have access to them, kind of at any point in time that they want to. They also use it to kind of check and ask questions. We start each morning kind of with a question and answer session from the day before moving on to the goals and the objectives for a particular lesson. At the very end, right now we are looking for an assessment that they will have had right before back to school night. But I did want to actually show you that when we were reviewing for that all of the review for the format of the assessment is here, as well as what they should actually study. So this is a fairly standard operating procedure, so to speak, about the way that things will actually look for them this year. In addition to that, if they needed to get any additional help for things, they are always welcome to do a couple of things. One, they could go to peer tutoring on Wednesday nights. It is always virtual. It is from 6 to 8 p.m. They can always join using the Google Meet code Peer Tutoring SCN. I am always available before and after school in room 455. All ICB classes, periods 1, 2, and 8, are in that classroom this year, and they are available to come in for help. If those times do not work for them, they just need to kind of ask me about that in advance, and if we need to set up something virtual, we definitely can do that. I hope that you have found this evening informative and have gained a little bit more information about what the second year of ICB2 is going to look like. Perhaps we will even have the opportunity to be able to meet in person or reconnect in person on September 16th from 5:30 to 7:30. If there's ever anything that you actually need from me, or your son and daughter actually happen to be able to need anything kind of throughout the year, yikes, please do not hesitate to actually contact me at the email address that is shown below. I look forward to being able to work with your sons and daughters throughout the year, and I hope we can make it the best year yet. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.